Well, hello, Hunter.
Hello.
Hello.
Tell me about Colorado. How's the East Coast treating you?
I love it. Luckily for me, both of my parents are originally from New York, so
What part of Colorado do you live in?
I live in Denver.
Okay.
So I born and raised in Denver, but every summer, every time I had a break, I would go back and visit family in New York. So
Okay.
definitely comfortable.
Senior?
Senior, yes.
Sophomore?
Yeah.
Guy in charge? Okay. I'll make sure I got the level playing field. Coach, I guess I'll ask you to start off. Give me your thoughts on the match and let me know where your head's at right now.
Well, to start, I believe we did pretty well. I mean, there's obviously a lot we can improve on in the years to come. However, as a whole, as a team, we did pretty well. Tough matchup, number 24 team in the country. It's not easy, but push them to 25-22 first. Then and then the third, 25-21. So not bad at all. Very, very proud. I believe if we played defense a little more consistent, we would have probably stole a game from them. And obviously the missed serves at those crucial points in the game.
What are the top three notes are going to be on your notepad for a discussion day one of the non-traditional season in the spring? Serve,
Receive, and defense. Consistent defense, not 5 points and then we take a break and then we decide to play another 5 points and then we take a break. Serve, receive, and get on the floor and play defense.
As a senior, you've got some experience in the NCAA tournament. I think your team has won 8 of the last 9
Yes.
conference championships.
Yeah.
Has that been your entire career? Have you made it to the dance every year?
No, last year was my first year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what this experience means to you. Tell me a little bit about how this reaches you in here.
I mean, it's just wild to be here. I mean, like, top 64 teams. Like, the NCAA tournament is crazy. I feel like people don't, like, sometimes understand how great it is to be here. And, like, I feel like sometimes even we're like, oh, NCAA tournament, but it's like, NCAA tournament. Like, you were good enough to, like, make it here. And, like, all the work that we put in throughout the entire season, like, comes to, like, fruition, like, here. And, ooh, big word.
We have it on tape, too.
But yeah, so it's just like so exciting to be here, and it's just I just feel so like blessed to have the opportunity to be here.
Now, early in your career to have NCAA experience, what is this? How does this motivate you, and what's going to be your message to next year's incoming freshman class?
I'd definitely say it sets a standard. Like, I know coming in last year is obviously both of our first years playing at Hunter, but going into it, like, the reputation Hunter has in CUNY and just, like, it's an expectation. And not only, like, I know this year the difference was, like, all right, yeah, last year, like, we were able to get back, obviously COVID, and, like, the few years before there was a few years off. But last year we were like, okay, we got here, but this year we were like, no, we want to get here and compete, you know? Like, it's definitely getting here and being here definitely just makes you want to do better every time you come. Like, just sets the expectations higher and higher, so.
Yeah, and I think that it really helps us create like a new standard, like you were saying, for our level of play. You know, after competing with people that are at higher, levels than us, it brings back when we go back to New York and back home. It brings a higher level of play to our practices and for non-traditional.
So what will your message be for the freshmen who join you next fall?
I think the message will be that if you decide to play at Hunter and you have the opportunity to play at Hunter, you're here for a reason. And we are trying to make history, and we're trying to bring a higher level of play to CUNYAC. And this is how we're going to do it. And you have to be on the same page and want to do that in order to play with us.
And I would definitely say, like, buy into your role, whatever that role is, because I think that's something that we did really well this year. There was a lot of ups and downs throughout the season. Obviously, we try our best to be consistent, but I think a big thing that helped was, like, people were ready to step up when we needed them. And as a team, obviously, like, we have to have a next man up mentality. Like, I definitely think that when people go in and to, like, sub in, they're like, all right, let's go, instead of being like, oh my God, like, I'm nervous. So definitely seeing, like, the maturity of the younger girls, like, being ready to take the older girls' roles after they move on definitely helps, I would say. Next man up mentality.
Consistency in postseason also leads to a little bit less of that deer in the headlight look.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
So when you began preseason, so August 18th, 19th, whatever that was, it was really nice and cool in the city, I'm sure.
Oh, so
Yeah.
cool.
So cold.
Was,
Gym was lovely.
was this an expectation?
Yes.
I think
100%.
definitely. I mean, I think that we definitely graduated some very good players who were, you know, key in our team last year. But I think that we kind of knew that we had a really, really strong roster this year. And, you know, we all wanted, not that it was an expectation like, oh, we're going to get to it. Like, we know we're going to get to it. But we were like, hey, like, we can do this. Like, we know that if we lock in, like, we say that all the time. We're like, you got to lock in. And if we lock in, like, we will be here. Like, we will be able to do this.
Coach, you've been able to establish a wonderful legacy of success in your time there. What's the key to that? What's the special sauce?
Well, first of all, I inherited a legacy at Hunter College, right?
You continued it.
I've continued it. Obviously, key for me is recruiting the athletes that fit Hunter's vision, Hunter Athletics vision. And I always say, whenever I get emails, I go to tournaments, I see players, the first thing I do is I pick up the phone and I call them. I never email first. I don't respond to an email. Or if I do respond to an email, is, hey, may I have your phone number? And I call. And I think, and I do this because, 16 on the roster, it has to be 16 players that equals that one team. And I think that's key for me in the recruiting process. Student athletes who are going to come in, be good students, excellent students, graduate, and be willing to compete and buy into our vision at Hunter, not just Hunter College Volleyball, but the program as a whole, the vision of the program.
How old were you when you played your first competitive volleyball?
Oh, I started club in sixth grade, fifth,
Okay.
sixth grade.
If you go back and whisper in that sixth grader's ear about what you feel right now, what would you say?
Probably I'm proud of her. Volleyball has been like such a huge part of my life. And it's brought me so many great things, like crazy great friendships and just like relationships throughout. Like the volleyball community is small, but it's big, but it's like small. Everybody knows everybody. And just kind of outside of volleyball, like it's taught me life skills and it's taught me, working as a team and, keeping cool, like being able to work under pressure. And so I tell her that I'm proud of her and that, this isn't the end. Like this is kind of just the beginning.
I can't think of a better way to conclude. Thank you. All right, best of luck.
Thank
Thank you so much.